FC Dallas have fired head coach Nico Estevez following a 1-1 draw against what was basically Minnesota's C team. FC Dallas have been very poor this season, currently sitting second bottom in the West with an abysmal goal-scoring record. They have only scored 18 goals all season long. The club is a hot mess, and frankly, so is this video. I've tried rewriting this script several times, and I failed every time to organize my thoughts into any kind of coherent sense, and that was even before it was announced that Estevez was gone. I don't know where to start with this team, especially not now. There is a lot going wrong for Dallas, and I don't think any one party should shoulder all of the blame, not even Nico Estevez. So look, here is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna provide some context for what exactly is going on with FC Dallas, and then I'm gonna just lay it all out. The pros and the cons, what's going right, what's going wrong, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and how can this mess be fixed if it can be fixed at all. Welcome back to Pancake FC, the YouTube channel named after the fantasy team named after my dog. If you enjoyed today's video, please like, comment, subscribe. For every person who does so, Pancake does get an extra treat, and stick around for the end of the video for a clip of Pancake getting some of those treats. Last year, FC Dallas were a playoff team, finishing 7th in the West on the strength of their defense. They allowed just 37 goals, the second best in their conference. Despite an early round exit at the hands of Seattle, this was still, in my mind, a solid season for the team, especially considering that they had to go without star man Jesus Ferreira for most of the season. The year before that, which was Nico Estevez's first season in charge, they were actually great. They finished 3rd in the West. This last offseason, while the team did lose some defensive pieces, they did also splash the cash big to bring in Croatian striker Petar Musa from Benfica to act as a complement to Jesus Ferreira, and also someone who could shoulder some offensive responsibility when Ferreira is out. This season, tactically, FC Dallas looked to transition from a back three, which Estevez had relied on in previous seasons, to a back four, and play more on the front foot while maintaining the majority of possession and playing out the back. So this all sounds good in theory, but where and why did it all go wrong? Well, FC Dallas suffered a home defeat to Vancouver and an away loss to Austin early in the season, where their backline was an absolute disaster. They were dominated in the air, thin looking. They constantly struggled to implement any kind of offside trap. The 2-1 scoreline in their loss to Austin actually really flattered them. So after that loss, Estevez gave up on the 4 at the back experiment and went back to the 3 at the back system. From that point on, their tactical approach was basically this.
So basically, in the 5-back formation, what FC Dallas are trying to do is play the ball out short from the back. Gonzalez, Ibiaga, and Jukwa all function as ball-playing center backs. Once the ball gets to them, they'll do one of two things. The first is play it off the pivot of Iliermendi and Frazier. From one of those guys, then they'll play it up to Musa Ferreira or move it out wide to one of the wingbacks, Farfan or Ariola, to then cross into the box or play forward onto a run from Ferreira, Delgado, or whoever else is the left winger, or just cross it in for Musa. If they don't play it off the pivot, and what they'll actually just do a lot of the time is, if Ibiaga, Junco Gonzalez will just play the ball long. They'll play it straight long for Musa, usually to hold up, run onto, or for Ferreira to run onto. It's kind of a funny combination of playing it short, from the back and kind of bouncing it off each other, or just going super direct and super long. It just kind of depends on what the other team is trying to take away or not. Against Minnesota, what went wrong was Minnesota blocked outside really well. They kept the ball from getting to Ariola and Farfan. So FC Dallas, everything, they had to play up the middle. Everything went right up the middle, and Musa unfortunately just doesn't quite have the quality to hold the ball up really well under pressure, to dribble the ball really well, to make good touches onto the ball. He kind of is a pretty traditional forward. You really just want to be crossing the ball to him for him to get the end, to get onto the end of it. Otherwise, he just doesn't quite have the quality. At least that's what it looked like in the game against Minnesota. Funnily enough, this is Petar Musa's FB ref page, and his numbers are fantastic. And I've watched a few FC Dallas games this year, and maybe it's just the ones that I've watched, but in all those games, I've thought that he's really struggled. He does have a pretty good goal-scoring record. He's got 5 goals and 2 assists, but when he moves with the ball, when he holds the ball up or is trying to run onto it, his touches just constantly let him down. Simple passes constantly let him down. Basically, the way that Dallas is trying to play, it doesn't quite suit Musa. It doesn't suit a lot of these players. For Ibeagha, Junqua, and Gonzalez, frankly, and to be fair to Gonzalez, since coming into the center back spot over Tafari, he's been pretty solid and I think has improved this back line. But these guys don't quite have the quality to play out from the back the way that Nico Estevez has wanted them to. We saw that against Minnesota on the first goal, which was a bad turnover, and a lot of the times FC Dallas haven't been punished for that. They turn the ball over trying to go short at the back all the time, and it's no surprise that a team like Minnesota, who pressed really hard, made things difficult for them and got a goal off of a turnover. So basically, that is how Nico Estevez has been trying to get his team to play in the back five, and that is why really it has been a struggle against certain teams and overall just hasn't worked. It's a slight combination of the tactic not being super effective for the players, and I guess by a slight combination I mean a big combination. I just mean it's not necessarily Nico Estevez's fault that this hasn't worked out. Should he have probably been more pragmatic and tailored the system to the guys that he has? Yeah, I do think so, but in theory, on paper, this tactic is pretty good. I think it's pretty solid, and the ideas of what this team want to do, more or less, are clear. It just didn't really work with the players that he had, and that can definitely be blamed on the front office for not constructing the roster around the coach and the system, but in general, I think it's just a little bit of everybody's fault here. And one final note on that Minnesota game. I talked a lot about how the players struggled, how Minnesota prevented Dallas from getting the ball wide. But for one thing that Estevez definitely did get wrong was his usage of Jesus Ferreira. Ferreira had a lot of free roam to drift to the left, to the right, and then also to invert into the center and finally play as almost kind of a right wingback at times, especially off the ball. I will say, frankly, this didn't work. It didn't work at all. Let's take a look real fast at Jesus Ferreira's heat map for that game. As you can see right here, he hung out a lot in the right wingback spot and just didn't really get anything done there. I'm not sure if he was doing that because he was kind of frustrated that they weren't able to get the ball wide and he was trying to overcompensate a little bit for that. But his positioning in this game really, really didn't work. The way he drifted really just was not effective either.
FC Dallas are going to be a very interesting team to watch in the coming weeks. Interim head coach Peter Lucen seems to have ambitions of making his role permanent, so it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out and what he tinkers with or keeps the same. But in conclusion, FC Dallas are a mess, and so was this video. This was Pancake FC. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. For every person who does so, Pancake does get an extra treat. And speaking of which, we're going to cut to the treat cam now. Pancake, can you sit down? Sit down, Pancake. Very good. Good job. Good job. You want a treat? Good job. Very good. Let's see. I got to switch hands. Can you shake? Shake. Good job. Nice to meet you. Very good. Sit down, baby. Very good. Good job, Pancake. Wow, you're killing it today. You're killing it today, Pancake. Can you lay down? Lay down. All the way. Good job. So good. So good. Very good. Good job, Pancake.